what does fix the money, fix the world mean? Because I think that that's a statement that we say a lot, but we don't necessarily define it too often.
Yeah, I can define it. Um, so the problem with money now is it's not money. Fiat money, it's not neutral. It's not a neutral tool. It's like this biased, one-sided, um, state wielded weapon that is used to make people poor and is used to debase them and to give them just enough runway to kind of stay alive, but also it's really built to cloud their judgment of the future. Like if you can't save into the future, you can't plan for it. You can't think realistically about it. You don't have the means to. I mean, it's hard to plan for tomorrow if you don't have enough money to get through the day today and to find a meal. And that's really the case. What are the horrific stats we hear over and over about how many Americans don't have $1,000 in the case of emergency? And so like through personal experience, which is like much less interesting than the broad experience that I think people have had together in Bitcoin. But I mean, I think many of us have experienced that the minute we started saving in Bitcoin and the minute we started, we started using it for transactions and maybe a few, purchases here and there, we realized like, wait, this is a neutral tool that can't be censored by the government. I don't have to ask permission from my bank. I don't have to call between the hours of 9 and 5, to get help with this thing. It's just 24/7 neutral commodity. Okay, well, that's going to incentivize me to work a lot harder because I can use it how I want under my own terms. I'm not going to get debased by the will of a few. So when we talk about fix the money, fix the world, we're really fixing the incentive structure, um, and returning to something closer than a fiat market rather than, sorry, a fiat market, a free market, returning to something like a free market, like was had on, gold standard and various other commodity standards, but it's actually better, um, for a lot of reasons. The Bitcoin doesn't have to physically be and can't be physically anywhere. So you can transport it virtually. It really is quite like magic. I was playing around with kind of a brain wallet yesterday, just rather than writing down, 12, 24 words, I was just memorizing them and regenerating them on a different device and on different wallets. And it was, dude, it's super crazy how that works to me. Like it's like magic. So, um, I didn't have to ask permission for any of it. I mean, try that with your bank account. Try to sweep the whole balance of your bank account to another bank and do that in less than, a minute. You can't. You can't. There's so much permission involved and forget about it if you have any significant savings. Um, okay, so the other side of this, I think, is it's also returning personal responsibility to the world in a time when we really fucking need it, dude. Like I just talked about with, maybe a little bit of the misguided kind of sector of Bitcoin maximalism. Like we live in a soft world. I'm like totally subscribed to this fourth turning theory. These weak men have made really hard times, and women. I mean, just weak people. Like it's just a soft society where we want to look to the government for answers, institutions kind of to take care of us, take the pain away, give us just a little bit more of a stimulus check. And part of all that is due to like this psychological poisoning that's occurred because of high time preference thinking, which has actually been handed down to us by the government. They say, you know what? We're going to wipe out the middle class and you're going to become the ones who live hand to mouth. And you're going to live hand to mouth until the end of time. And with Bitcoin, that doesn't have to be the case. I've experienced it in my life. Millions of other people have experienced it too. It's like the moment I started saving a Bitcoin, you look back a few years later and your wealth's appreciated hundreds of thousands of times. It's like, what do you know, you, it, it's liberating, and it's the separation of money and state. And by the separation of money and state, it's not going to fix every problem in the world, right? Um, but it is going to fix a lot of the incentives in society and the relationship and the balance of power between individuals and the coercive state, that's stealing from them to fund foreign regime change wars that last forever. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, they can't take your Bitcoin to fund those wars. Okay, so now they have to find another means. They can still tax you and coerce you into taxation, but they can't debase you. They can't debase my Bitcoin. They have to put in the proof of work, just like everyone else, to either mine it or buy it or acquire some. So it just completely levels the playing field. Um, I think through Bitcoin, we're actually going to see a return of the middle class, and we're going to see true economic prosperity and opportunity. I mein, this is the dream of America, and this is like the dream of every person. It's like the option, even the possibility to kind of manifest a destiny that includes a little bit of a financial ladder that you can climb up. And if in the fiat system that's not even there, you're running on a treadmill that's like outpacing you, like debasing you 10% a year. So it's a pretty long-winded rant, man, but I'm pretty serious about this stuff. I think Bitcoin really can fix the world.